A man brutally killed a girl, but he didn't know that the girl's grandfather was a super rich tycoon. Immediately, the tycoon offered a reward of 1 billion yuan for his life. At first, the man didn't take it seriously and hid at a friend's place to avoid the police. However, he noticed that his friend who brought him food had a strange look on his face. The man struggled desperately to escape his friend's assassination attempt. Realizing the gravity of the situation, he quickly went to the police station to surrender and seek protection. As soon as he entered the prison, the TV reported that although his friend's assassination attempt failed, he still received a reward of 100 million yuan. Once the news broke, the police station went into an uproar. A police officer took out a dagger and stabbed at him, but was finally stopped by his colleague. The man was sent to the hospital for treatment. At that time, a nurse added poison to a syringe. Fortunately, the police noticed and saved his life again. A series of such incidents made the police higher-ups nervous. They dispatched top-notch police officers to escort the prisoner to Tokyo for trial on a special plane. Before they set off, new news came that the plane had been tampered with by an airport maintenance worker, so the plan had to be changed. To uphold the dignity of the law, the higher-ups sent hundreds of police cars and thousands of policemen to escort them to Tokyo. Shortly after they set off, an oil tanker drove in the wrong direction and rammed straight into the convoy. As it got closer to the criminal, Xiao Shui jogged and jumped onto a police car and fired wildly at the driver. At this time, the driver pressed the detonation button. Fortunately, Xiao Shui reacted quickly and escaped unharmed. The scene was in a mess, but the criminal in the car was okay. Xiao Bai found that their location had been exposed on a website. Before they could catch their breath, two special police officers came to check the situation. As soon as they opened the door, they rushed into the car and fired wildly. Fortunately, the people in the car were skilled and quickly controlled the two. Laxi wore a bulletproof vest and survived. As the situation escalated, the higher-ups changed the plan. Not long after, the large group acted as bait and moved forward, while Laxi and the others took the criminal on a train to Tokyo. They thought the plan was foolproof, but soon an accident happened. The police escorted the criminal onto the train, but their whereabouts were updated in real time on the internet. It was announced that anyone who killed the criminal could get a reward of 1 billion yuan. Money makes the mayor go. A group of gangsters walked menacingly towards them. Xiao Shui took out his gun to intimidate them. After some thought, the gang leader turned around and left. Then there was a firefight. The police fought back and wiped out the gang. Xiao Shui was shot and fell to the ground, losing his breath. The others knew that their whereabouts were exposed. Since no one else knew the route except them, Laxi realized that there was a mole among them. Without time to think further, he decided to change the plan and leave among the crowd because the train was no longer safe. As soon as they got off the train, an old man came at them with a sharp knife. Laxi fired a warning shot, but the old man didn't back down and even held a little girl hostage. Driven by the 1 billion yuan reward, he went completely crazy. The bald-headed police officer tried to persuade him, but it only made the old man more agitated. "What are you doing?" The bald-headed police officer had no choice but to shoot and kill the old man. Although the little girl was saved, the bald-headed officer was taken away for investigation. Seeing this, the criminal actually gave a thumbs up. From then on, there were only 3 people left in the escort team. To prevent any accidents, they took out their guns, drove everyone out of the train, and even threatened the train conductor to speed up to Tokyo. Not long after the train started, it suddenly stopped because there were huge boulders deliberately placed on the tracks ahead. There was no other way but to get off the train and walk to Tokyo on foot. They walked until dawn, and finally met a passing car. They politely asked for a ride, and got in smoothly. Just as they were about to breathe a sigh of relief as they were almost done with the task, the driver suddenly turned around. He opened the armrest box, took out a dagger, and stabbed at the criminal right in front of the police. Seeing this, Xiao Bai pulled the criminal out of the car. The driver was no match for them and was quickly controlled. It turned out that the driver's daughter had been raped and killed by the criminal years ago, and now the criminal was being protected by the police. After hearing this, the driver broke down, and Xiao Bai was also moved. Since they had already arrived at the destination, Xiao Bai thought they might as well let the driver avenge his daughter. Just as the driver picked up a stone, Laxi punched him unconscious. Laxi wanted to uphold the dignity of the law, so they continued on their way. On the way, Aokun's actions made Laxi suspicious. He rolled up Aokun's sleeve and found a scar with a microchip hidden underneath. It turned out that the rich tycoon had found Aokun and promised him 1 billion yuan if he provided the criminal's whereabouts. Thinking that he could both make money and get rid of a scumbag, Aokun agreed to the tycoon. After hearing all this, Laxi said he understood. He left Aokun and Xiao Bai behind, and continued to escort the criminal. Unexpectedly, the criminal took the opportunity to escape on the way, and even targeted a little girl, just as the criminal picked up a stone and was about to attack. "How are you, kid?" Fortunately, Laxi arrived in time to prevent the tragedy. At this time, he received a call from the tycoon. The tycoon said that if Laxi killed the criminal, he could ask for any amount of money. Laxi was extremely angry. He thought that if there hadn't been the tycoon's reward, so many people wouldn't have died. Shelbai was attracted by the argument and didn't notice that the criminal picked up a chain. The criminal snatched Shelbai's gun and shot him dead. Laxi was devastated. He beat the criminal violently and put the gun in his mouth. But in the end, he didn't pull the trigger and instead took the criminal to Tokyo. At the handover scene, the tycoon came to question Laxi, saying that his 7-year-old granddaughter had been brutally raped and killed, and her body was dumped in the sewer. How could I have thought of that? Well, after saying that, the tycoon drew his knife to avenge his granddaughter, but was stopped by Laxi. Unexpectedly, the criminal picked up the bayonet and stabbed Laxi. Laxi died heroically. Finally, the tycoon was arrested by the police and the criminal was sentenced to death. When the judge asked him if he regretted it, he said that if he had known it would be the death penalty, he should have killed more people. So, is it really worth protecting such a person?
現在も取り調べを続け、について警視庁は